Alright guys, before we get started on today's video, I gotta show you this stuff we've been working on. It's really been a labor of love for me and the team here at throtl, but we're finally launching some Mickey Spec merchandise on the throtl channel. Here we go, boys, this is it. So we've got Mickey Spec stickers. So we've got the EG, we've got my old Corolla, the Bastard 8.6, and we've got my wagon, Ric Flair, the E91, all available. We've got lanyards that are specific for the RX-7, Mickey Spec RX-7 lanyard. We've got the Mickey Peakers, so these go on your windows. And last but not least, we have the Bad Apple Mickey Spec collaboration. My homeboy Todd actually made this creative artwork for me. It's very early 90s skater slash tattoo style, and this is our own unique rotor logo that we'll be using on all of our stuff going forth that has to do with the project build Bad Apple. The front looks like this. No Mickey Spec on the front, just the Bad Apple logo and the evil rotor. I love it. These are very limited quantity, guys. We have just a few of these in stock. This was not meant to be a major production run. Just wanted to celebrate the overall launch of the car with a few items, because once it's gone, it ain't coming back. We are headed to BCC Unlimited, which is about a 30-minute drive or 40-minute drive from here, and it is rush hour. I picked the absolute worst time ever to make this drive. Back it up! Back it up! But we're gonna do it, and there's a really good reason why we're gonna do it, and that reason is my car is finally rolling into the paint booth. So the guys at BCC Unlimited have prepped the car. It's all sanded and ready to go. They jammed it yesterday, so that when I say they jammed it, that means they painted the door jambs inside the trunk area, under the hood area, all that stuff, so that now they can tape the car off, roll it into the booth, and just spray the outside of the car, and then the jambs meet the outside paint, and then they go back and sand that down after it's all done and clean it up. So tonight is the night. We're starting at 5 p.m. because the sun is going to go down. It's going to make the ambient outdoor temperature way better for painting. It's going to be a long night, boys. I hope you're down for a long video. So I'm going to take you guys along for the ride. I'm going to film everything. Hopefully a lot of it makes the video and doesn't hit the cutting room floor, Evan. So here we go. We're going to roll up to BCC Unlimited and see where they're at. Begin to tell you guys how excited I am about this color. As far as I know, this is the first Mazda RX-7 FD Mazda Soul Crystal Red Metallic, and it's a hell of a process. It's a 3-stage paint process, 4 if you count the primer step. And basically what it is a glass-based, from what I understand, there's crushed glass particles or something in the base, and when they shoot the base, it actually looks like a rose gold color. I'll show you guys what it looks like here. This is them shooting the sunroof, the side skirt, the rear bumper, the front bumper, and another side skirt. And this is what it looks like after the first coat of paint. In my opinion, it doesn't really look that good. I don't love it. Some people think it's a cool color, but once they put the red tinted clear over top of that rose gold looking color, you get this super deep red. Looks like you can reach into it. I mean, it literally almost looks wet. So the step we're at right now is the guys have already jammed the car. They call it jamming. So basically they've painted all of the door jambs and all of the areas underneath the bumpers. So as you can see here, the car on the exterior is still painted in primer, but all of the jambs are already painted and the engine bay has been resprayed. As you can see, this was my old rattle can paint job that they went ahead, sanded down, and it's been clear coated with a satin clear, so it looks dull, which I like. It's going to be a great contrast against the satin silvers that I'm using on the engine and all the intercooler piping. This car is turning out amazing. Doug and his guys have gone overboard on this thing. I can't even tell you. It is absolutely remarkable the amount of work and effort that's been put in to make this car for me what I hoped it would always be. I'm getting a little choked up at the moment. This isn't like me, but if you guys remember this car just 3 short months ago, this thing was ready to go to the wrecker. Not running, body was absolutely destroyed. Between Doug and between the guys over at DNA Garage helping me with the engine, and then all the love and care that Ricky, my dad, and myself have put into this thing on the interior and whatnot, the undercarriage, I mean, we literally saved this car from uncertain death in a junkyard crushing. So to see it in this state and to know that it's going to come out of this paint booth in just a few short hours with a brand new coat of cherry red paint on it, my God, it's unbelievable. I'm going to go ahead and stick around tonight. As I noted earlier, it's 5 o'clock here in LA. They're just now starting on this, and we're going to go ahead and stay here tonight with the team. I'm going to go in the booth, capture a bunch of the painting process, and bring you guys along for the ride. I hope you're into this sort of thing. I live for this shit. So tag along if you like. It's going to get interesting. Alright, so this process is like a lot of hurry up and wait. So right now they're painting the fiberglass parts for the car, the side skirts, the front and rear bumpers, as I showed you guys through the window. But there's a lot of downtime between that happening. The paint has to cure and dry before we can do anything. So we're waiting to roll the car into the booth to get the paint going down on that. In the meantime, I started poking my head around the shop. And one thing I noticed was this. This El Camino is actually from one of our subscribers, and Doug and the boys here at BCC are actually repairing it, which is awesome. Like I said in the past, thank you guys so much for supporting the guys that are helping out throtl and our project. So it's so cool to see our supporters and our subscribers utilizing the people that we also work with. So thank you guys so much for that. We're gonna get back to this paint work. So this is the clear with the red over top of the base, and then next is clear.
Yeah, the next is clear.
So you put this on pretty thick, or is this pretty light coat?
The pinta?
This one, yeah.
Yeah, very hard.
Thick.
Yeah.
Woo, looks so good. Okay, I will leave you alone now. Alright, so Carlos has put down stage 2 of the 3-stage process. He's now going to start laying down the clear coat, which is where this color really shines. Once the clear coat's on, it really creates the depth of that first coat that's put on that looks almost rose gold. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how these turn out once the clear is on. Alright, so we're down to the skeleton crew. It's getting late. We've got Carlos, the painter, and 2 of the body guys that are helping with taping off the car. They're getting pretty far along. The car is almost ready to go into the booth. Just a few more things to tape off. Carlos has started laying down the clear coat on all the bumpers. Once these are dry, we can pull them out of the booth and roll the car in and get that going. I'm pretty excited with the overall look of the parts. It's really neat to see the color come to life once the clear actually goes on. It's amazing how this color just changes And I know in the booth it actually looks very maroon, or like a dark, deep, like blood red. But in fact, once you pull this out after it's cured and you put it in the sun, it's actually a very vibrant red. I'm sure you guys have seen TJ's drift car by now that he just got back. It's the same exact color. I'm so excited to see this thing put together and out in the sun at 7 stock. I hope you guys will make your way out there if you are in the Southern California area. We're gonna do our best to get this car running and debut it there in the DNA Garage booth under the throtl tent. Please, if you're in Southern California, come out to 7 stock. It's in 3 short weeks, and check this car out. I hope it's as exciting and as cool as I think it's gonna turn out for you guys. Carlos, what's going on in here?
Right here.
Nothing?
Wait for
Nothing is happening in here? I don't believe you.
nothing right now.
So this is the final stage of clear coat.
Yeah.
So now these will sit to dry.
Yeah, I should wait 1 hour for
I
nice. Sticky, huh?
pretty sticky down here.
Like Clearcoat.
Well, it looks beautiful. I was saying earlier in the video how this paint really comes to life once you put the clear coat on. It looks okay, but then the clear coat goes and
Yeah,
boom.
Sometimes grip this time. That's good.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's beautiful and very smooth. You're a good painter.
Yeah, when it's really dry, hot, it's shiny.
It is beautiful. So we're gonna get out of the paint booth. I probably shouldn't have been there. I know all the internet police are gonna rape me for going in there without a respirator on. Trust me, I'm a professional. Carlos is done spraying the body parts. Now we have to wait till they dry. The color is gorgeous for the millionth time. And now that we can hurry up and wait to get this car in the booth, I think it might be time to order some pizza or something, because we have to wait about 30 minutes or an hour till the parts dry. We can pull them out of the booth and we can roll the car in at that point, get the car prepped for paint to go down. I know this is a long drawn out process. I'm doing my best effort to bring you guys every step of this. It is a long process. So I'm gonna show you as much as I can. I hope you guys are tuning in, staying awake to this, but we're gonna go ahead and take another little break away from the camera, and we'll bring you guys up to speed once we're pulling the parts out and rolling the car in.
1 eternity later.
All right, the boys have just loaded the car into the booth. That can only mean one thing. It's time to start laying some paint. But first, they gotta get it up in the air. They're gonna raise the car up on jack stands, pull off the wheels and tires. That way he can get down really low and get underneath the car, under the rockers and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and help him out. I'm gonna put this camera down and get to work. All right, Carlos and Enrique have the car up in the air. Hey! A couple smiling faces for being this late at night. These guys are awesome. They're putting in the extra effort to make sure this car turns out great. So, as I said, car's on stands, as you can see there. Enrique is final taping the wheel wells and the brakes and getting all that stuff so that paint doesn't get in there and make more work for us after we're done. And God only knows what Carlos is over here doing, but I'm sure it's important. Wiping off, oh, prepping.
Clean a little bit.
Cleaning the wheel well, yeah. So, if anybody ever told you painting a car was a quick process, they lied to you. This is actually very tedious, and what I can say is that the more time you spend prepping the car and getting it ready to go in for paint, the better the paint job will turn out. If you don't spend time prepping, it doesn't matter how much money you spend on paint or how good your painter is, it's probably not going to turn out good. These guys are going the extra length to make sure all the prep work is done properly. That way when this paint goes down, it goes down nice and smooth. So as soon as they're done getting everything prepped, we'll get the booth closed up and start shooting some color. Here's the rest of our parts drying or dried, waiting for the chassis to be done so they can be mated back with the chassis. Oh, it's gonna be so good. See, the guys are wetting down the floor in the booth. They do that in order to keep the dust down while they're spraying paint. The water on the floor acts as a barrier to keep everything from, you know, when they walk around so the dust doesn't get kicked up. Pretty cool trick. I think almost every paint shop does that or has a downdraft type booth that has a grate on the floor. As you can see now, Carlos is wiping down the car for, it looks like what it's gonna be its final wipe down before we start shooting paint. So as you guys can see, we've got the first base layer down, stage 1 of the 3-step coat process that goes on the car. It's this like rose gold look. I keep calling it rose gold. It's not rose gold, but I don't really know what to call it. It's not red. As you can see, it's definitely very pink, almost maroon looking. But this is like the first stage of getting color on the car. So this is exciting. Cannot wait to see the clear go on. So the guys finished the third coat of stage 1. I said this was a long process. I wasn't kidding. Holy crap, this is taking forever. But it's so worth it, and I'm glad I'm here for this. A lot of people just drop their cars off at the paint shop and come pick them up when they're done. It's actually neat to see the process and lend a hand where I can. Again, leaving this up to professionals, in my opinion, is the way to go. I've sanded cars, I've prepped cars, I've painted cars even, but I want this car to be perfect, and these guys are doing that for me, which is awesome. I'm fortunate to have BCC Unlimited at my back for this one. At any rate, what you guys just saw, you saw a bunch of flashlights going around inside the paint booth. What they're doing is they're actually inspecting the paint for imperfections and spots where the paint's a little lighter than others. Then in the dark, it's easier for them to see that, so they'll go back and actually lay more paint if they need to. The lights are back on in there, so I'm guessing that things are okay. Maybe a little light in the wheel well? Not sure. Found it. Yep, they were a little light on the paint in the front right wheel well, so they actually caught it with the lights off and the flashlight. Went back and just shot another layer of paint in there. Good to go. All right, so I just jumped in the booth with the boys. They've got 4 coats of the second coat on the car. It's now dry to the touch, which is pretty awesome. It's now time to go ahead and toss the clear on. We're probably gonna do 2.5 to 3 coats of clear. It's gonna go on heavy and fast, and then it gets to sit overnight and cure. So here we go. It's crazy how the paint looks really dry and kind of just not finished. I never realized that when you painted with multiple layers of paint that this was okay. I always thought you wanted it to look wet. But this is very like dry looking and I don't know, splotchy is not the right word, but I don't know, it just looks dry. I'm used to like whenever I paint something, I always want it to look wet, but that's what the Clearcoat.
It's very dry.
Yeah.
It's very clear.
So that's what the Clearcoat actually does, is makes it look shiny and wet. Alright guys, as you can see, the clear coat's going on. The car looks fabulous, so shiny, so deep. The depth of the Mazda Soul crystal red metallic is absolutely beautiful. I think I chose the right color. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but look how dark this bumper looks. It looks maroon. But when the light hits it, it turns red. How insane is that? What a beautiful color. These are all the parts that were painted earlier today. Ready to go on the car. Headlight covers, sunroof, gas door, side skirts, rear bumper, front bumper. The boys are gonna go ahead and shoot one more layer of clear after this one. And then the car is gonna sit in the booth overnight to cure. We'll be back in 2 short days to pick the car up. At that point, we'll have the engine in hand and we'll be ready to start putting everything back together. I really hope you guys enjoyed our journey today up to BCC Unlimited. I wanted to thank the boys, Carlos and his helpers for doing a great job and staying late tonight. Everybody wants to be home with their families in the evenings, but these guys have stayed a couple extra hours over the course of this project away from their families, and I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. I've also had to spend a lot of time away from my family as well, so this project is going to mean the world when it's done to me. I hope you guys can see that. I hope you guys can see how much joy this project has brought to me, and it really is a passion project for me. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate all your support for throtl and what we're doing. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Thanks for the thumbs up and all the wonderful comments. You guys are awesome. Peace out, and we'll see you next time.
What's up guys? I wanted to share a few things about the new addition to the throtlVIP program. If you don't know what throtlVIP is, well, it is the ultimate car club for all car enthusiasts. throtlVIP is now guaranteed to save you a ton of money and time while building your dream project car. And now we give you discounts at both local and national brands, such as 20% off advanced auto parts, $5 off K1 speed, $10 off instant oil change, and a ton more. Looking for a pizza? Don't worry, we got you there as well. Now offering 25% off of all Papa John's orders. Listen up guys, the throtlVIP membership is a no-brainer. And to top it all off, we're giving away this beautiful Mazda RX-8 once we're done with it. We have plans to wide body it, throw on some air suspension, some nice JDM wheels, and a ton of other awesome mods. So if you want to learn more and find out more about throtlVIP and all of the amazing benefits, check out the link down below guys. We appreciate it, and welcome to the throtlVIP family.